Hey everybody, Jason and John here, Everyday Crypto, sponsored by CryptoTaxShield.com, a home biz tax shield, another sister entity to Crypto Tax Shield. Jason, thanks so much, man. It's been a few days. I appreciate you taking some time, sitting down with me. We're going to go over some cool stuff today.
John, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. So to get into today's sort of lesson and talk, the traditional stock market and the regular markets over the past 5-6 months have been pretty slammed. It's been a roller coaster ride, made a lot of people nervous, but crypto seems to be holding pretty steady. And I just thought, let's get on a call today and record it. I want to kind of pick your brain about why that is and kind of see what creates that equilibrium on the crypto side when the other side's not doing great.
Absolutely. And if I could start, please, if you find any educational or entertainment value in this at all, please like and subscribe. It helps us help you, and we truly appreciate it. Yes. We are not financial advisors. Please do your own research.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's a really good topic. All the markets are super quiet right now. This is kind of feels like a calm before the storm kind of situation. And I don't know if the storm's going to be great or bad. Can't really put a finger on it.
Sure.
But you're right. Traditional markets have been slammed the last 5 or 6 months, especially the tech sector, which crypto is usually considered part of the tech sector.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at crypto, with all the negative news and all the rate increases and governments trying to regulate and this and that, it's actually held up pretty decent. I mean, Bitcoin's sitting around $40,000, right, which is about where it was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at it, so crypto is always the measurement. I mean, Bitcoin's always the measurement of crypto. So when I speak of Bitcoin, it's kind of like an overview of the whole ecosystem.
Sure.
So Bitcoin the last year has been bouncing in between 30 and 40,000.
Right.
And it's pretty much so consistent that guys just know to buy around 30 and sell around 40.
Right.
And these are called times of accumulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the history of, let's say, Google or Apple or Netflix, or you see this long, drawn-out accumulation and then a straight upward trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in general, the longer the accumulation, the tighter that spring coils up.
Gotcha.
And there'll come a point where eventually it's going to stop bouncing in between there and just take off like a rocket.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to have that feel. And if you study like Bitcoin's history, there's this saying that goes, Bitcoin does what Bitcoin does.
Right.
You can try and predict it. You might think it's about to crash because of the economic macro, micro situations. But in general, history tells you that Bitcoin moves when Bitcoin wants to move.
Right.
Now, I really kind of feel like that's one of these moments where we're just kind of bouncing. And then they say, you'll wake up and a month later, it'll be like $65,000, $80,000.
Sure.
And there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. So crypto's been real quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Stock market's been super quiet. It seems like all investments are super quiet right now. Even housing, real estate's pretty quiet.
Sure.
But if you watch what's going on behind the scenes, a lot in crypto is going behind the scenes. Microsoft just came out and said they're going to put billions of dollars into their ecosystem of a metaverse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is clearly corporate game theory. They're trying to break Facebook/Meta's back.
Sure.
And I think they're going to do it. I'll be honest with you. When you look inside of Facebook's actual ability to put together a successful metaverse,
mm-hmm,
Microsoft is just going to shred them on technology. So
sure.
I think Facebook's on its way down because of that. Even other things like governments and like Biden came out and said that they're going to be crypto friendly, right? And you got a lot of other governments, like Malaysia just announced that they're going to, propose a bill to make Bitcoin legal tender.
Wow.
And you're hearing that left and right nowadays. Like it happens so much now that the Malaysia thing almost slipped right by me without me paying attention. There's so many countries and states that are aggressively going after this. And there's so much so that, a year ago when El Salvador said it was a shocker, like everyone's was amazed.
Right.
Now it's so common, the news is almost forgotten about. So you can see where the trend is going. If all these places are putting bills, so even like Arizona and Texas, they got bills.
Mm-hmm.
A year from now, so many places are going to have legal tender as Bitcoin, which means demand, more accessible, more user-friendly experiences for people to transition to other cryptocurrencies. And
mm-hmm,
So I think even though things are quiet now,
Yeah.
I'm optimistic that things could take off at any given notice, and I'm very optimistic over the next year.
Yeah. So in terms of like a quiet adoption, sort of that sort of breaking wide, is there any corporate game theory involved in keeping it quiet, or wouldn't that be something that you think they would sort of? I mean, I guess if we're hearing about it, they're announcing it, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of attention yet.
There's no way that the board members of Microsoft are not really good poker players.
Sure.
So there's no chance that they're just now jumping in. They've clearly been involved, and now they're announcing it because they're ready, and they're putting the pressure on Meta. And Meta, I'll be honest with you, man, if you look at their tech abilities,
Mm-hmm.
they ain't got it.
Yeah.
They really don't. So it's just interesting, right? Like,
yeah. The Microsoft thing is interesting. I'm going to watch that a little closer. I think you're probably spot on, but that interests me a lot because you're right. I mean, what Microsoft can do, sort of just technology wise, as big as Facebook is, and as many techs as they have, high level techs, I think Microsoft can just blow them out of the water if they wanted to. That's interesting.
Microsoft could throw $100 billion at it and not even sweat it.
That's right. Yeah.
So this is clearly corporations going after corporations.
Right.
And Meta, when Facebook changed its name to Meta, we all had to know something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't change a proven track record.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone really likes Zuckerberg anyways. So.
Right. I think you're probably right. I'm not a big Facebook guy myself. I sort of stay off of there. I commiserate a lot of different places, but that's generally not one that I'm on. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, no, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, things are a little quiet, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's some stuff under that current always. So
I know as an investor, times like these, like for me, I went to Tucson last week just to get away from everything and trying to clear your head out and take it as a break. And it's so easy to fall into that mentality of like, well, nothing's going on. Maybe I'll start working out or do other things than study and research, investment opportunities. But the truly successful guys that really do well, these are the times they actually study harder and do more research because they want to know. Like while the rest of the world is sleeping, they want to know what's that opportunity and how to maximize it. So it's like I'm trying to force myself to really stay involved and find that hidden gem. And
absolutely,
that's how it goes for most investors right now. Like they kind of fall asleep though.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of that extra few minutes to find one of those things where you might otherwise not see it if there's so much going on in crypto. A human being can only look so many spots, right? But you get a few extra minutes each day where you're not looking over here, something over there's happening, cooking. So,
right.
Yeah. Awesome. Jason, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. This is good info. And we're going to do another one very, very soon. And I've got we might even do a little bit deeper into this. I've got some questions for next time. So that'll be good.
John, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And I love that background. That's super cool, man.
Thanks. I'm not going to say where I got it from. I'm in a secret location in a bunker. And that's all people need to know. No, I'm teasing. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate it. And we'll talk again soon.
You got it.
All right. Thanks.